Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Eurocast. I am your host Ankit Iyer, the Vice President of Interact Club of Euroschool Airoli. Today we have a special guest for our podcast who is Professor Pushkar Ganesh Vaidya. Let me give you all a small brief about him. Professor Pushkar Ganesh Vaidya is one of the world's leading scientists and philosopher in the field of astrobiology. It is the study of the origin, evolution, and distribution of life in the universe. It also refers to the search for intelligent extraterrestrial life, popularly known as aliens. Professor Pushkar's primary areas of research are philosophy, spirituality and science, and astrobiology. In particular, panspermia. He is also the chief mission scientist of Bigeon space missions. Professor Pushkar is the head scientist of Indian Astrobiology Research Centre as well as the founder director of Indian Astrobiology Research Foundation, Mumbai. Here we have Professor Pushkar Ganesh Vaidya for you all.
Yes, thank you, Ankit. Thank you for inviting me.
So now we can start with our questions. So the first basic question that comes to my mind is, do aliens actually exist in this universe or maybe in this world?
I think the short answer is a yes. All right, the short answer is a yes. Yes, they actually do exist because it will be a great surprise if we say that they don't exist. Simply because there's something we say in nature, that nothing happens for once, right? So if you don't have like one tree, like you don't have like one insect or something like that. There are several of them. So if you look at life from a cosmic perspective, we don't think that this is a case of we are the only creatures in this universe which are, let's say, intelligent. We believe there are a lot many like us, but possibly we cannot meet them. So this is like a philosophical let's say a philosophical sort of an argument. Apart from that, if you go from a scientific argument perspective, we nowadays we are looking for planets outside. So we have about 3,000 planets which are Earth-like planets in the habitable zone. So we say basically they have flowing liquid water and stuff like that. So it is close to impossible that we are not going to find alien life. And the more trickier question is that whether this sort of life is going to be intelligent life, at least as intelligent as we are. So let's see. We will find out.
Okay, that's really interesting and a bit tricky because we have always learned from our childhood that alien सब झूठा है, alien नाम का कोई चीज नहीं है. But now it's really interesting to hear that they actually exist. But another important question consists, do aliens actually come to Earth? Are they here?
Oh well, it's maybe I don't have the authority to disclose. I don't know, but let's put it this way: in the 1940s, we believe that aliens have been coming to Earth. There's also a possibility that they are around here right now as we speak, because in June 2021 this year, a report was released by Pentagon. It's called the Pentagon UFO report, and there were these sightings made in 2019. So the U.S. Department of Defense, they came, let's say they came in the public domain to say that, well, we have observed these crafts, what we know as UFOs, the unidentified flying objects, and they were, let's say, there was a report asked about them by the U.S. government, and they have more or less admitted the existence of UFOs. I mean, not more or less, they have admitted that UFOs exist. Now, these UFOs can either be some secret military thing, which, well, no military seems to, own up to. And if that is not the case, then all that you are left with is that they are aliens. So the question of whether aliens there are they here or not, as of now, let's say, so I'm not even giving you my opinion. I'm rather basing it on what the documents which have been made public by the US government. The answer is an emphatic yes. They are here, unless we have to somehow justify all these UFOs are military, which is a very looks like a far-fetched explanation now. So the answer is yes. We believe they are here.
That sounds so scary. But where do the aliens come from? They don't have anything to, be get rebirth like normal humans. So where do the aliens actually come from? How do they get a life?
Right. So the thing is that firstly, Ankit, there's nothing to be scared of. Simply because, let's say, if they were the bad guys, right? Then they have been coming around here since at least last 100 odd years. If they wanted to vac you out of existence, they would have done it long ago.
Oh yeah.
So for whatever reason, they are benevolent. Maybe they find us entertaining. For all that it is, we don't know what's their game. So it is clear to us that there is nothing to worry about as far as they are concerned. They do their stuff and they don't necessarily interfere with whatever happens in the world. So we are having a pandemic, they don't give a damn about it, right? So that's how they seem to operate. Now, all that we know is, well, they are, most likely they are coming from somewhere. What we do know, scientifically speaking, is that we don't have in close vicinity, we do not have a planet, let's say, which is habitable, where you can have intelligent life, alien life. We don't have, at least in the, let's say, in the 10 odd light years sort of a radius. So then, maybe they are coming from, even further away, 100 odd light years. Now, as soon as we start to go 100 odd light years, now you have a problem, because how the hell are you going to, like, come and go? It's like, it will take a lot
Yeah,
of time.
totally. How is the travel possible?
Yeah, and then you go into these interesting possibilities of that maybe, they are not traveling the way we think. So maybe faster than light travel is possible. Maybe relativity is not, not so sacrosanct that we cannot violate it. Maybe you can travel faster than light. So all these questions are opening up. Maybe they do interdimensional travel. There's nothing to say, you see, relativity does not stop you from, it only stops you from reaching the speed of light if you're traveling lesser than the speed of light. You can actually travel faster than the speed of light, provided you are not coming, back down. So you really don't know. Maybe they jump into a wormhole, like they did in the movie Interstellar. You jump into a wormhole and you just come across somewhere on Saturn, and they, and why the hell they would come all the way here, we don't know. And as I said, maybe they find us entertaining.
So I guess I'm just asking a dumb question, but do you think they're having food and water to live?
Oh yeah. So the thing is that, I think it's anything but a dumb question, because basically they require some sort of an energy to sort of survive, if you like, right? So now, how to acquire that energy? Maybe they do some sort of a photosynthesis. They don't bother about, maybe they just make their own food like plants do. Maybe that's a possibility, or maybe they do require food. But when you mentioned water, Ankit, that becomes extremely interesting, because now water is something on which we base the possibility of alien life itself. Can they live without water? We really don't think so. But the implications are very wide. If you and I agree that they cannot live without water, then we know what the aliens are like. They are not too different from us, because they are also a biological system, or whatever system they are,
Yeah.
which is dependent on water. So if they are dependent on water, then they cannot be so alien to us in the first place. So you see, we have already found something common between us and them.
So can I guess that aliens are humans?
Well, there's one of these outstanding, not an outstanding, there's an outrageous, suggestion that aliens are actually humans, who are time traveling from somewhere in the future. And down the line, our head becomes like, we became like watermelons, and, we became like some stick figures. And they are coming back from the future, and telling us, do not mess up climate change and stuff like that. So for all that we know, there is this controversial hypothesis, that maybe aliens are actually time traveling humans. Scientifically speaking, we don't believe so, but then who knows, unless an alien comes to your podcast and talks to you.
That's interesting. So the thing which starts the mindset of bringing aliens is what we see in a movie. And the scenes shown in the movie do seem really true, but are they actually true?
Oh, right. So, see, movies, of course, have their compulsion. So, if you go for the classic series of alien movies, the aliens, and so on and so forth, well, there the aliens look more like dinosaurs, so that is one aliens that you get. Then, if you go for movies like, let's say, The Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Steven Spielberg, the aliens look more like the aliens which we are all used to, the humanoid kind of aliens with big watermelon heads and big eyes, armature eyes. So that's another one. Now that particular pattern works the most because then you can relate to it because the alien doesn't look too different from a Pushkar and Ankit, right? So you can relate to it. But if you have a dinosaur-like alien, it doesn't. It's more difficult to relate to. It became even worse, when in the 2010s they came up with this movie. I don't know if you guys might have seen it, Arrival. So there is
No,
this.
I don't
Oh, you
know.
haven't. Oh, please watch it.
Okay.
And it's called as Arrival. There's this big sort of a space truck which comes and just lands on our planet, and just does nothing. Just comes and lands. So we go and investigate it, and inside there are these big, huge aliens, with long whatever tentacles. So that's one of the very first movies, which gave you an alien which was different from the stereotypical dinosaur-like alien or the humanoid alien. So well, at least we are making some progress.
I totally agree with that. But to be honest, I have not seen any alien movies currently. But after your speech, talk, I'm sure I may see at least
Yeah,
the two
watch,
or
watch
three.
Arrival, watch Arrival. You will love it.
Okay. So, as you said, that there are many places where, like, as you said, that there can be an alien while we are talking right now beside us. So, can you just tell places where actually aliens are seen around us, maybe in Mumbai or maybe somewhere around here?
So are you aware that there have been not alien, let's say, but there have been UFO sightings in Mumbai? Are you aware of that? That
Oh,
Oh, yeah, we did actually.
okay.
This is
That sounds so interesting.
Yeah, so there have been on and off reports, but I'll tell you for one particular one. This is around, I think it's 96 or 97, if I'm correct. Around the same time of the year, somewhere around October, November-ish, something like that. And what we have there is this group of engineers. They're from Pawan Hunt's engineers. They spotted a UFO in the morning, and that object would come in the morning, and stay around just for a few tens of minutes, and then split into two, and then just shoot off at incredible speeds. Now, this sighting continued over 2 to 3 days, if I remember correctly. The Nehru Planetarium back then, I think they had tried to investigate it, and no one could ever have any idea what happened. It made to the pages of the Times of India then. And
Oh.
till date, no one has any idea what that was as UFO sighting as you can get. So one can safely say that aliens have been interested in Mumbai, for over 20 odd years at least.
So, I guess this may be a dumb question also again, but maybe something better. When will we meet aliens? If they come so oftenly, then why aren't we able to meet the aliens?
Well, Ankit, sometimes what do they say? You must be careful what you wish for, right? So we really don't know. But let's put it this way: if you ask me from a scientific perspective, in what we call SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. So people who work in SETI, we believe we should make contact with aliens.
Okay.
Right, it's maybe not a podcast, but at least a contact. By 2025, we are just about 4 odd years away. Now, if you go a little ahead, or a little different direction, not the steady scientists, but then let's say more of the UFO crowd, they already believe they are here, right? And I don't know, there is this little grapevine going around, something called as a disclosure. So
Yeah.
there's this. It's not a project per se, but there is this movement, which is disclosure, that aliens are here, and the belief is that as soon as that disclosure is complete, they will come and reveal themselves. And the only issue is that who speaks to them on our behalf.
Maybe that's That's another important question. Interesting question, I guess.
Right, and I think given the situation of the world, I think perhaps our prime minister can do the best job. He wouldn't mind telling them, Mitro.
And also, is there any justification on which language the aliens speak?
Oh well, we believe that they will at least understand a bit of math, but depending on what they speak, when you say speak, you mean what sort of sounds they'll be able to make. It will all come down to the biology they come from.
Yeah.
But then so we don't know how the hell they will speak. So we will find out. But what we do know is that they will definitely hear that, because again, we don't know in what frequency. Let's say. Doesn't matter. I don't think our prime minister will mind that at all. He will do what he does best.
Okay. So, here we come to the end of our podcast. Thank you so much, Professor Pushkar sir. Thank you very much for coming to our podcast and giving us so much bright information about the existing, or maybe non-existing, or I don't know what, but I think existing aliens.
I don't know what, and thank you for inviting me.